Hi guys, it's Dr. Mohammad Usman and I am back with another video. If you haven't liked my YouTube channel, do visit my YouTube channel and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel to stay updated. You can also visit my Facebook page for updates. So let's talk about today's topic. So today we will be talking about two proportion test in Minitab. This test is used to determine whether the proportions in the two groups differ or not. Sometimes we know that meaningful difference exists, but we cannot find the meaningful difference without any calculation. So for this we can use two proportion test to compare two different groups when there are only two possible outcomes, pass or fail, defective or not, yes or no. It is also used to determine whether one group has a higher proportion than another. It is often important to know whether one group is better than another or not. For example, whether one has a higher proportion of success or a lower proportion of defects. Similarly, like we can use it for determining whether the proportion in two groups differ by a specific amount. So if there is a difference exists between two different groups, the size of difference in the proportion might be too small to have a practical importance. With the two proportion test, you can find out that differences of any size that you consider is important or not, and you can also calculate a range of values that is likely to contain the difference between the two groups. For this, we have a data that should have independent trials and can have independent possible outcomes. For example, in a crate of 24 soda bottles, two lost their carbonation. Similar, like if 300,000 voters are voting, then 190,000 voters are actually voted into the election. So basically we have to find out the negligible difference in our data. So how we can do it? For this one, in this scenario, we have a university financial aid office which has polled its undergraduate students to determine if male or female students were more likely to obtain summer employment. Of the 802 male students sampled, 725 were unemployed during the summer, and of the 712 female students sampled, 573 were employed. So basically we have now data and we have two different groups, one is male and one female. So to calculate the two proportion, you have to go into the basic stats and you have to click the two sample proportion or two proportion. When you will click it, it will ask you that you want the data into two different columns or one column. So we are not actually picking data over from here. So we will just enter summarized data and we will just enter the number of events. So in this case, in sample 1, the number of events we had 725 and number of trials we had 802. This is because 802 male students applied for the summer employment, and out of them 725 actually were able to obtain it. So in the female section we had number of events 573 and the number of trials were 712. This was because out of 712, 573 got their summer program and they were enrolled during the summer program. So after that we have the different options. We can go over here and we can just check the different confidence interval level in which we can calculate. We can also check the alternative hypothesis, the test method, and we can just use them for in our Minitab. So basically we will not be changing all of these one at this moment. We will just click OK and we will just click this OK. When you will click this OK, you will have the results over here. In this result, it will be providing you the test and the confidence interval for the two proportion. Like X was 725 and the second one was 573. These were the number of events and these are the number of trials. And we have got some sample p-value from these one, which is 0.90390 and 0.804775. The difference from P1 and P2 is the 0.099247, and 95% confidence interval also ranges between 0.06367 and 0.134759. And the test for the difference we have between the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis. And also we have got z value of 5.47 and p value of 0.000. So basically we have actually got the values and we have got Fisher's exact test p value 0.000. So let's work on its interpretation, like what it says and why it is like this one. So when we are talking about interpretation of this data, we know that there was 573 females and 725 males were employed out of this number of total numbers, and we have the values which are not equal to 0 over here. We have that sample values, and the difference is 0.099247. So actually we have now to compare our values with the alpha level, which is commonly used, and the 0.05 alpha level is commonly used to compare these values when we are having the p-value equal to 0.000. And we can also see that Fisher exact test p-value is also equal to 0.00. So we have to compare it, either it is equal to 0 or it is not equal to 0. So in normal experimentation, when we have greater p-value, then we can actually test it back between the confidence interval and we can find the values. So for the employment data, z is 5.47 and the associated value is p-value is 0.00, which is actually not 0, which is equal to 0.0005. So it means that we have 0.05% chance that you would be have obtained the difference in the sample proportion that you did if the difference in the population proportion was actually 0. So we were checking that it is equal to 0 or not. So there is 0.05% chance that we will be getting this value between this confidence interval. So we can reject our null hypothesis on the basis of that, like the actual p-value is less than 0.005, and the p-value is also lower than the alpha level which we use in the Minitab, which is like 0.05. So we can say that you can reject the null hypothesis that the proportions of male and female students with the summer employment are equal. So actually these are not equal, the proportion are different. So according to this one, we are seeing just 0.000 p-values, and we are just looking to the very minimal negligent difference, but actually these both differ and these are not equal to 0. So two proportion tells us about the very small values which we can use in our Minitab, and we can just find out the difference to know that whether these were equal or not. So this was about the two proportion test. If you are looking about the only one columns and one test, you can just go to the my one proportion video. So this video was up to here. If you like my video, do visit my YouTube channel and like and subscribe to it. You can also earn training certificate from our video channel. The process is as follows, and it is easy for you. We have issued many certificates for many participants, and you can also get special certificates. So what you are waiting for? Go today to my YouTube channel and like and subscribe to it. Thank you.